Is your donation page leaking donors? According to iDonate, roughly 89% of visitors leave your donation page without giving. That's not a traffic problem. That's a conversion gap. iDonate's new pop-up donation form is built to fix the CVR gap. It's mobile first, moment driven, and appears right when inspiration strikes on blogs, campaign pages, or stories. More donors, same traffic, less friction. iDonate lets you control the strategy, the voice, and the design. To see it in action, you can launch a demo at idonate.com or click the direct link in the show notes. Ooh, today is a good one. Today I am joined by the incomparable, it's the best way to put it, Kishshana Palmer. She is the author of Busy is a 4-letter word. She's a coach, a trainer, a podcaster, a keynote speaker. She is the foremost expert on the future of collaborative leadership and building thriving, high-performing teams, and she's a joy to be around. Her ethos is rooted in a truly powerful belief that we have to build together. And that starts by looking within. She truly believes that having amazing talent is the number one competitive advantage in any organization. And her work ensures that talent from the front lines to the C-suite is empowered to build vibrant, joyful cultures of philanthropy. So in this episode, Kishshana shares why she hit pause on a growing business, what it looks like to lead without burning out, and how she's rewriting the narrative around rest, joy, and boundaries. So if you've ever felt like you're doing the most or trying to figure out how to do less but better, this conversation is for you. So get ready for some laughter, some real truth-telling, and a whole lot of wisdom.
What are your priorities in this season of your life? For me, I had to get clear because I was on go. As a single mom, I was not enjoying the building of my career, the building of my business, the highs and lows of being with somebody and breaking up, the highs and lows of being a mom at different developmental stages, okay? Hell, the highs and lows of my 20s, my 30s, and my early 40s. I was just on autopilot, missing stuff. So you've got to really be able to say, in this season of my life, what do I actually have on my plate? And does everything actually belong on this plate?
Okay. I am very excited because I have gone through, I'm showing Kish right now her book on the screen with all of my, do you hear this? These are my post-it notes.
Oh my God. You know, I'm like, pop quiz. That's what I really should do.
Basically, I told her, I did give a slight heads up and I said, okay, I did a lot of post-it notes and she did ask me via text, can you just give me a heads up on the page numbers? And so I was like, 22, 98. 179. So I think it's the coolest thing when you actually get to know the author, chat with the author, get the inside scoop of the context of why you wrote about a certain thing. And I think this topic, and she's the author of Busy is a 4-letter word. I talked about this in the intro already, but leadership, a little bit of slowing down, sustainable leadership and what that means. How can we, especially we're about to go into the busiest season in giving, how do we do it differently?
First of all, you're going to start with the hardest question? Okay.
I think all of these questions will lead to, you read the book, you can figure out how do you do it differently. If you didn't like who maybe you were or how the team was run or the results that you received last year, if we do the same things you did last time, it's going to result
in different results.
Right.
Then he really needs to book a session with me, okay? Because we have some other things to talk about. One of my girlfriends said to me the other day, now just tell me again why you went to business school and did not get your Psych D. And I was like, immigrant kid problems? Like doctor, lawyer, business. Like those are my choices. I didn't know there were other things.
Other things. Yeah. Well, you're doing now all the other things.
Oh my gosh, every other thing. And nothing at the same time, Dana, I have to tell you. So for folks who are like, busy season, what do we do first? Slow your asses down.
That's right.
Okay, I would just yell at y'all this whole time and just feel the wind blow. Like when you put in like the best sound system ever and then you're trying to like test the bass. The woofer, it's the woofer. Listen, slow your ass down. That's exactly what I would be telling folks in order to be able to do things differently this year.
Yeah.
And Dana, you preach this from top to bottom. Keep it simple.
Try.
Okay.
That's right. Wait, okay. This is really perfect that you're just saying all this right now. Can I just start with, okay, you share, which I love that you break down methods, frameworks. There's a rethink method that you share. And the R is what I really want to focus on. This was my first Post-it note to everyone. The rethink method, and then you can give some more context, but R is redefine productivity. The first step, you say, is redefining what true productivity means beyond just checking tasks off a never-ending to-do list. When I read this, it's not only, it is highlighted and it has a Post-it note. Can you explain what the rethink method is and then specifically why redefining productivity is so important?
So part of the reason why I came up with the rethink method is because, we have to name things, okay? And I just do stuff. And so I was like, well, I've been doing this one thing for a long time. And essentially it's like the answer typically is in the room. Oftentimes we're trying to find the answer out there, and I want people to come in here, step into the room. And so rethinking for me is slow it down, look at what you already have before you, approach things from an asset position and not a deficit position.
Ooh, that's good.
So for those of us who are into like fixed mindset versus growth mindset, that's Kishshana's version of it, okay? And for many of us who grew up, Dana, and I tell the story a lot that I'm a New York City public school kid, and growing up in the 80s, at the end of the school day, our version of a gold star was a pretzel stick. So your teacher stood at the door with a box of stale-ass pretzels, okay? To this day, I love pretzels. I want y'all to know. So I am clearly chasing the gold star.
The gold star.
So some people have the gold star. Some of us have babies who had the yellow light, red light, green light. They had a happy face, middle face, whatever your thing is. We are chasing this need to feel accomplished. So somebody can say, such a good job. You're such a good girl. And we chase that professionally. We chase that in our relationships. We chase that when no one's looking. And for me, rethinking that is, has the way you've been moving in the world really been serving you from season to season? Or are you trying to like do like how we do with Thanksgiving, and we get the Thanksgiving on Thursday, then we get the sandwich on the Friday, then Saturday the salad, then Sunday we're trying to do something else. Aren't you tired of this stale-ass turkey? I just want people to really rethink how they're approaching their life and their work. And so redefining productivity for me was personal. I definitely am of the sticky notes, handwritten to-do list, plus digital, plus reminders, plus time blocks in my calendar. Partly because the way my brain is set up, Dana, this is going
for sure. Same.
But also, I am chasing that high.
Yeah.
We did it. And I think the quiet part out loud for many of us as leaders doing the work that we do is that we spend a lot more time feeling like a failure than we do feeling like we're successful.
100%. I mean, I think about, so just when we're recording this, Monthly Giving Awareness Week just happened.
Yeah.
And there was so much excitement with that and so much going on and it was on the news and all this stuff. But then it so quickly passes in the hype. And then you think about, oh, what could I have done better? Was it really a big hit? Like the doomsday approach to things instead of focusing on what you're saying, kind of like the assets of what you had. And I also like the E part, which I wasn't going to go into, but I'm going to talk about the E in the rethink, is evaluate your priorities. So redefining not only what productivity means, but then evaluate, and I love this part, what and who actually deserves your time and energy.
Okay,
That's
listen,
big.
for those of us who are high achievers, overachievers, and just because you are an overachiever doesn't mean that you actually are effective or efficient. And just because you are a high achiever does not mean that you are effective or efficient or happy. And for many of us who fall into that high over category, we also have either little p or big P people pleasing somewhere in our toolkit, okay? And we pull out that thing all the time. And I've had to learn the hard way that everybody does not deserve my time and energy. And because I show up 100% full throttle, so when I don't show up, people are like, oh, you all right? Because it's so obvious. One of my girlfriends said to me recently, I had a grand opening, grand closing. I'm like, now I think I'm like the real 90 Day Fiance, okay? And so she said, I mean, it's true. I'm writing about this now. She said to me, Kishshana, has it ever occurred to you that maybe the way you dole out your energy, whether it's a stranger or a family member, that everybody doesn't deserve the same amount of energy. Dana, then she snatched my edges. She said, you wrote that in your book, right? You don't shut up and leave me alone.
Use your own.
Against me?
But how often do we need that? Like, it's so much easier to tell everybody else what to do, what they're supposed to do, versus actually listening to your own advice all the time.
Which is why you need that, for lack of expression, like that board of advisors. You need folks to be able to remind you.
That's my last Post-it note. Don't get there yet.
No, my bad. We'll come back to it. But in terms of like evaluating your priorities, I want people to lock into something very specific at work and at home. The thing I want people to think about is, what are your priorities in this season of your life? And if you listen to anything I've ever said, I talk about that all the time because I think that it's something that for me, I had to get clear because I was on go. As a single mom, I was not enjoying the building of my career, the building of my business, the highs and lows of being with somebody and breaking up, the highs and lows of being a mom at different developmental stages. Okay. Hell, the highs and lows of my 20s, my 30s, and my early 40s. I was just on autopilot, missing stuff. So you've got to really be able to say, in this season of my life, what do I actually have on my plate? And does everything actually belong on this plate? Sometimes y'all are giving entree attention to something that's just an amuse-bouche.
Which is so interesting to hear you say that, because from the outside, before I knew you as well, I just like, you always hear like I'm doing a top level all the time, fierce, like fabulous. Everything looks perfect, right? From the outside perspective. Meanwhile, like you're going through
all the things.
Yep. But again, this is another like self-truth to understand, which flows really nicely into what you're talking about on limitations.
Yeah.
And being honest about them. So you really talk about being honest with yourself about limitations is not a sign of weakness, but rather a sign of wisdom and self-awareness. So at what point, and we hope it doesn't mean reaching rock bottom, maybe this is like a chance to read this book and understand, I'm not at my worst yet. However, I feel like I could be on the steps where I am going to be in a place that I am not happy or that I am at risk of burnout.
Yeah.
Where do you think creates that turnaround, like the switch of realizing something and then actually doing something about it?
I think for many of us, it is slowing down. And I know this is probably Captain Obvious, and then getting outside. Now, I am a city girl. Okay. So I'm concrete over grass. I just want people to know that. And then I bought a house that's darn near in the country with woods behind it. And every day I'm like, oh my God, what bug is this? And so for me to say, get outside, get with the earth, like that is a thing.
Yeah, it is.
Really, literally take your butt outside. Stand in the sun. Close your eyes. Turn your face up. Put your hand to your heart. Touch something tangible on your body. Put your feet on the ground and breathe until your heart slows, until your brain slows. The things that remain, whether it's panic or something else, are the things that you need to lock in on and decide what you want to do about it.
Yeah. I love that.
If you say, Kishshana, I don't have time, baby, you have hit rock bottom. Hello, you're there. The I don't have time to even have time for myself is, in fact, the indicator that, friend, you are hanging by the chin. Listen, I'm in perimenopause now, Dana, okay? So every day I look at my chin and I go, what the hell is happening here? That's the season of my life that I'm in. So some of us are hanging on by the end, the hair of our chin.
Got him too.
Woo! And we're doing that at work.
Yeah.
We're doing that within our organizations, in our work plans, in how we think about raising capital, in how we think about approaching our donors, in how we think about approaching our teams. We are frazzled and barely hanging on and shook about whether we should actually just stop and go, what is going on in my life right now?
Yeah.
So that I can actually build the kind of life I need for this season.
That's right. Have you heard on the lesson of like feet planted in the ground where you are and asking, having your eyes closed, have you heard of, you ask yourself a question and you're either naturally, your body starts to lean forward or lean back.
Yes.
And your body's like telling you, like, is this something that's momentum forward moving? Or if it's like, nope, like back up. It just naturally starts to do it. Have you heard that?
I have. And for those of us who are rockers, that means your body is like, there's way too much stimuli going on, right? Like our bodies are telling us things all the time. And if you're not slowing down just enough to know where you are in this season, so you are in a toddler mom season, you're in a business building season, you are coming into this like mezzanine stage of your marriage, right? Your marriage is out the toddler stage. Like you're thinking about all these different movements that have growth and then pause. And so there's a temptation to want to do more in the pause. And my offering is pause.
So true.
Just enjoy stuff. Don't do nothing else. Like, you know what? Today, I'm doing nothing.
Yeah.
Today, I'm just close this book, not learn one more thing, make one more phone call, do nothing. I'm just about to go make this little salad and sit on this deck and let this baby go dig in the dirt. And that's it.
Yeah. Oh my God, you were speaking literally to me. If there's ever a pause and something, I'm like, oh, next thing, must keep going. I always feel I feel bad when I like turn on a movie on a plane instead of opening my laptop to work and just relax. I'm like, oh, I should open my laptop and like do something. No,
you should cry your eyes out because for whatever reason, being on a plane makes us cry at every movie that comes on. And clearly,
it's the elevation.
Being on a plane is our body's opportunity to release the toxins that we have stored up. That is just my personal opinion. Although, Dana, like you, I do write on the plane all the time.
I know. It's nice to like be up there if there's no Wi-Fi, then yes.
I just don't turn the Wi-Fi on.
I know, but then see, I have the ego. I'm like, I should turn on the Wi-Fi.
See?
Okay, wait. Which this goes into the next thing you talk about, which is a healthy mind and body are foundational to sustained productivity and innovative thinking. Not all donation forms are created equal, and not every campaign needs the same kind of giving experience. That's exactly why I had to share what I Donate breaks down in this blog, the 4 types of online donation experiences. You can click the link in the show notes to read it through. Now, whether you're running a fast-paced social campaign for, let's say, Giving Tuesday, a storytelling-rich landing page, or a major gift appeal, there's the right format to match the moment. Think of it as pairing the right tool with the right emotion. This guide helps you align your donation format with your campaign strategy so you can inspire action, not just clicks. You can head to idonate.com/blog or click the direct link in the show notes to read it now and start creating giving experiences that actually convert. So, integrating self-care. And something that I love that you said in here because it speaks to my soul about coffee. I love my coffee, but I cannot caffeinate myself to success. I mean, if there was not a more true line in life. So how does one, like we're feeling busy, our schedules are crazy between our personal, our work life, and it can feel almost like, I don't know, I think it's getting more common for it to be okay. But sometimes it's embarrassment's the wrong word, like a guilt to ask for time for yourself within work. Yes.
So I want to try a reframe for folks. For many of us who are super busy, whether it's self-imposed or otherwise, and I said some of us have big P, some of us have little p, people pleasing. We also have a very high sense of duty.
Yes.
And if you have a high sense of duty, you also have a high sense of responsibility. So I would offer, it is your responsibility as a leader to your team, to your organization, to your family, to yourself. Flip the order. Self, family, organization, team, organization. To take care of yourself. It's your responsibility. You are being irresponsible. If you have a stroke getting off a plane,
that's right,
coming from yet another trip because you decided that instead of relaxing or instead of going to that doctor's appointment that you rescheduled to put in that one more thing, and granted, accidents happen. I'm not saying that. But my point is, treat yourself as a responsibility that you cannot let down, that you are letting down others when you do not take care of yourself. Yeah. Someone asked me the other day, Dana, how do I model for my team that it's okay, that I want them to take time for themselves? I said, take time for yourself.
Are you doing it right?
That's how you model for your team. Like you literally say,
right.
I'm taking this time off. And I have a particular way that I like leaders to do it, annually, quarterly, monthly, and weekly, and to build into that. But for you, for example, and for me, I would say like being able to go, what is either my first appointment or my last appointment of the day? And I would say for my early birds like myself, your first appointment of the day should be with you. If you're a person of faith, you and your creator. If you're a person of believing in the universe, you and the universe, you and the ancestors, you and your journaling, you and mindfulness, you and working out a sweat, you and some combination of those things.
Right.
But your first meeting of the day for which you get a performance evaluation, is with yourself. And so I have a girlfriend who she has a slow start every day. And in her bedroom, she has a French press and a teapot. And she has a small child. So she has a 2-year-old and she has a 6-year-old who actually has an illness. And so she gets up an hour and change earlier than they normally do every day so that she can pour her French press.
Yes. It makes a huge difference the days that I do that before Kennedy wakes up.
Yeah. And she looks outside the window. I said, what do you do? Pray, look out the window. Kishshana, I'm wasting time. No, you're not. Being able to not hit that snooze button, but open your eyes, give thanks, let your feet touch the ground, breathe deeply, and then step into whether it's 15 minutes or it's 50 minutes for yourself. Now, for my night owls, maybe you are the person that you're like, look, the sweet spot is 1 a.m. Great. Then your wind down needs to start about 12, 15. And you take your time as you shut things down. You put on the nice PJs if you sleep in PJs. You make sure the sheets are fresh. You do those small luxuries.
Things, That's right.
So that you can step into yourself. Because depending on your age in life, some of us need to sweat and some of us need to sleep.
I need both.
Right. Yes. These little stomach flaps are set up. I need
I can't. There is something amazing for me about movement, whether it's running or just like working out in a class. I don't do the gym because then I will quit and I will just get on my phone. I need a class so that my phone is in the locker. Don't look at it. I am focused. Although I do pretty good on runs most of the time because I listen to like a podcast or a book or something. Okay. And I think these all fit so well together in the book. And I don't know if you like ordered it in this way or not. By the way, everyone, I'm going in order from like beginning through the book.
I love that.
So talking about self-care, and when you're having your self-care, there should be delegation involved so that you don't feel like everything's just sitting on your plate. And you say, delegation comes much easier to me now. Why? 2 things. I have a team I trust who will yank things off my plate. And 2, I trust myself to let go.
That's right.
This is big. Nearly a lot of organizations in our sector are 1-person shops, maybe 2-person shops. And there's a massive fear, uncertainty, thinking we can't. And I think what's really interesting is, you and I are pretty much like solo shops for the most part. We have these very, very small teams around us. And we're makeup-wise similar to these organizations.
That's right.
But there's a big difference in what we let go of or are okay to like say, I don't do that. I shouldn't be doing that. I'm going to hire somebody else to come in and do that.
Exactly right.
How do you work with your clients through that mindset?
Yeah, kill your darlings. I start with that. So one of the things that I did last year with my team is I allowed them to say no to me about everything. First, they started with, can you not text us one more time in the middle of the night with a bright idea? So
wait, you text them in the middle of the night?
No, but I would before send later, I would in Slack and I would schedule it later.
Oh, yeah.
But they could always tell that I did something in the middle of the night because of the type of idea it was. Because it'd be like amazing and big and half baked.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, don't bother me with the details. Y'all figure it out. I'm thinking this thing's going to have 9 steps, 90 steps.
Oh my God, you were totally bringing me back to like corporate. I did have a boss who used to message me at like 11 p.m. And I would think that I would then have to respond because of the message. And then finally he ended up saying, Dana, I'm hoping you're not looking at I don't want you to be looking at them. And until that was stated, though, I was assuming the expectation was, oh, I need to instantly respond to this.
Oh, I would have too, in every aspect of my career. But I was been very explicit, like, please don't. But now I've gotten better. We have tools now that help us to do scheduling, but they can always tell it's the type of idea. And so I would start Slack messages like, hey, y'all, I was thinking. And Blythe would immediately be like, no.
That's awesome.
So half the time, they don't know what I was thinking. Never mind, then. I was keeping in my little notes that she gave me a little folder to put things that cannot be discussed. But I gave my team basically the permission to say, I don't always know the answer. Treat me like the talent. Make sure that I am where I'm supposed to be.
Great idea. For those of you who are fellow, just like idea people all the time, big ideas, stick them in a folder. I do the same thing. I brain dump on Kat on my team all the time. I'm like, this idea. And she's like, okay, we're going to move on.
They think every idea is like, oh, we should do this. And I'm like, no. So for those folks who are in organizations, here's how it looks. When I'm in-house, I have time set aside for ideation. I identify very early on who is my ideation partner. Like, who's the person who can go 5150 with me, but they also can go, pump the brakes. That was 5 things that need to get done to make that one thing happen. And allow that process to happen. So I think that's really important. And then I think the other thing is to make sure you have an opportunity, and whether you're in a 2-person shop, whether you're responding to the board or volunteers, that you have an opportunity to have step backs. That should be built into any plan you do. A purposeful opportunity to pause and say, is this working? Why are we doing this? Does it make sense to continue?
Right.
Would something else that is a lower lift have higher impact? And be unafraid to just stop. Because otherwise, what you're continuing to do, friends, by being more busy, pretending to be productive, by adding more things on your plate and being stressed out, is you essentially are becoming a martyr and suffering from martyritis at work because you're like, I am so overwhelmed and I want everybody to know I'm overwhelmed. And I want us to release that and figure out who is around us that are the better who's at getting stuff done, so that we are released to do the things that we are better at getting done. And if you are in a small shop, that means there are less things to get done, not less people to get all done, which are very, very different.
Everyone hit rewind for about 3 of the 30-second, usually I think it's 30 seconds on my watch, 3 times, replay what she just said, apply that to what you do. Remember what I said, hit rewind about 3 times. Maybe now at this point, maybe 4. Get through me. Such good advice. And I think this beautifully ties into, you talked about the who. You have a big old circle. You have a box around it. I put like a star on it. Cultivating your circle of support. You say it's essential to seek out individuals who bring diverse perspectives and skills to the table. Diversity in your network can lead to more innovative solutions and a broader range of opportunities. Embrace different backgrounds, experiences, and viewpoints can enrich your own understanding and help you navigate challenges with a more well-rounded approach. So building that professional network. Thoughts? Someone who's doing this by themselves right now.
Stop navel gazing, right? I need folks. So I tell, look, I'll give you a personal analogy that I apply professionally. So now I'm single again. I'm not ready to start dating again. But then, when I was in New York, I was in the street. No, I wasn't, y'all. I really wasn't. I was at the soccer field and at the track meets, okay? But I thought I was going to be in the street when I moved here. So one of the things that I used to do, I remember when I was dating before, was people would be out. I'd be out with my girlfriends and folks would be on their phone, looking down at their phone. Not me. I'm looking up my little mocktail or cocktail, depending on the time of day, just looking around, being nosy. Because I was like, I love to people watch. So what I want people to do is professionally stop looking at your phone and look up. Join that meetup for professionals in your age range or in your profession type or in your complementary profession. So if you are leading monthly giving right now, that means you need a whole lot of people who are going to decide to put their credit card and let it rock out until it expires, which if you are lucky, 3 years, 4 years, whatever the math is, right? Just let it rock out.
And then switch to ACH.
And then switch to ACH so that it never ends. Hallelujah. Okay. Here's the thing. They may not be other nonprofit professionals.
Oh, likely
the
not.
types of folks? What are the psychographics of the types of folks who are attracted to your mission?
Right.
What are the things that they're interested in? Guarantee one of those things are going to be one of your hobbies. If you don't go find yourself down, the other day you said you like to run. I'm not running from nothing, Dana. Okay. I'm always wondering, what are you running from? Okay. But I did join a slow walkers club. So it's like slow runners, walkers. And I was like, so speed walking, call it whatever, on the south side where I live. And the reason I joined that is because I want to meet people who are fit and who want to be active, but who, like me, are like, why are we running again?
Yeah.
But they know we got to move, so we're moving. And I know I'm going to meet other business owners.
That's right.
I'm going to meet folks who are retired, who's, you know, this person or that person they were connected to, and this and that, and da-da-da. I know I'm going to meet young people who want to get me connected here. I know I'm going to meet people who are going to need the types of things that I want to do. And if I'm real lucky, I'm probably going to meet a friend.
This happens and everywhere, like sitting at a bar.
Correct.
And I remember, you used to ride in New York a lot. I used to live there too.
Yep.
On the subway. 99.9% of people are down on their phones. And sometimes you'd be amazed by just like somebody reading a book. It's like, oh, I read that book too. And then you strike up this really amazing conversation when your eyes are up.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And I think that for me, and I think I would now say I'm an ambivert. But for a long time, I was a true introvert with an extroverted life and personality because I'm bubbly. So people expect me to be an extrovert. And because I was in the business of people pleasing, I was doing what I thought was supposed to happen as opposed to what I really wanted to happen. And so being intentional in this season of your life, if you are a parent, a caregiver, a guardian, for example, and your entire world right now is around those kids, take that baby out of one activity coming into the fall or summer. Take them out. You know why? They don't care. You care. Be clear. That's your ego, not their interests. And then insert something for yourself. Thank me later. I was a single mom for 14 years. I might know a thing or two about that. Okay. And so being able to give yourself the opportunity to be human and human well in the world actually is modeling for your children, the people you're guarding for, your parent, if you're taking care of them, that you actually come first. And by being selfish in that way, you then have the space to be of service without resentment.
Yes.
Which will make you more apt to go out and meet people, right? Because you're not like, oh God, people. Oh Lord, I gotta get a face on. Oh Lord, I gotta get a haircut. We want to release.
And then you're going to find your crew and to be in community with.
It's the best ever.
So good.
It's the best ever.
Okay, so speaking of intentions, you were so gracious with your time. I want everyone to right now have the intention to go connect with you. Where should they do that? I'm
probably the only Kishshana you're ever going to meet. And so I'm Kishshana Palmer across all platforms. K-I-S-H.
Hello, SEO.
Hello, Kishshana Palmer. I hang out. Listen, if you want to know my fashion and my foolishness, it's on Instagram. If you want to know my relationship foolishness, that's on TikTok, y'all. I'm trying something out. I'm writing on Substack now more than ever.
Okay.
And of course, professionally on LinkedIn. So stepping into Kishshanaverse is just a matter of looking me up. Definitely grab the book. If you like to listen to books, it's the sound of my voice, y'all.
It is
like a warm
I
whisper.
asked you all the questions. We were talking about this and I was like, how did it go? How is it? It's hard.
It's hard.
It is really hard.
One of the best times I've ever had, but also one of the ones that I wanted to throw that headphones every time, but I do not regret being able to have the opportunity to record my own audiobook. If you are a visual learner, obviously grab the book, but also watch some of my shorts and videos because I talk about the thing I talk about. And the thing that I want folks to know about the book the most is you can read one chapter and put it down. Mm-hmm. Treat it like a ready reference for your life. And if there's something that you're navigating personally or professionally or both, the probability is high that I've written something that in 15 pages or so can get you right and get you on the right track. And that's because for me, Dana, one of my strengths is being an activator. I'm the person that's going to get folks off the starting block. That's and then figuring out how to delegate, leveraging the chapter that you read as a ready reference to invite others in to how they help you win in this season.
So good. So good. Basically, just hit rewind on the whole episode and listen to it again. Kish, you're amazing. Thank you so much. Everyone, go check it out. Busy is a 4-letter word. I will link to it in the show notes. Kish, thank you.
Love you, mean it.
Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode of Missions to Movements. If you enjoyed our conversation and found it helpful, I would love for you to take a moment to leave a review wherever you're listening. Your feedback helps us reach more change makers like you and continue bringing impactful stories and strategies to the show. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button too, so you'll never miss an episode. And until next time, keep turning your mission into a movement. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I hope it was helpful and valuable to you. And I wanted to let you know my signature program, the Monthly Giving Mastermind, applications are open for the 6th round that will start in July. If you are someone that wants to increase your monthly recurring donations, but just have not had the time, the bandwidth, the people around you to do it, this is the opportunity. You can head to positiveequation.com/mastermind to learn all the details. I have a video that breaks it down. I showcase what we're going over every month. It essentially takes the 5-step framework that I teach in my book and puts it into practice that we do for you. So head to positiveequation.com/mastermind to learn more and apply.